Hello, Life Groups. Thank you so much for gathering today. We are officially into the Christmas season and the first week of our Advent series. Now, some of you might be aware that many churches around the world celebrate the season of Advent. And this word Advent simply means arrival. It is the season of waiting and anticipation. Advent is a reminder of how the Jewish people waited for hundreds of years for the Messiah to come. And it's also a reminder for Christians all around the world that Jesus will return again and one day make everything new. Now, in a traditional church setting during Advent, a candle would be lit for each week. So for this week, week 1, it is the candle of hope. Now, this stands for the Israelites' hope of a coming Messiah. They had been waiting for centuries, and when Jesus was born, that hope was fulfilled. But before Jesus was born, we see the story of Zechariah and Elizabeth. Zechariah and Elizabeth couldn't have kids, and while Zechariah was in the temple performing his priestly duties, an angel appeared to him and said that he and Elizabeth would have a son, and he would be named John. But as you can imagine, Zechariah doubted simply just because of their old age, and because of his doubt, he wasn't able to speak until John was born. But Scripture tells us that they prayed that they would have a child, but as you can imagine, as the years passed, the hope for the desires of their heart disappeared. They had given up hope. After all, they were old, but even though they may have lost their hope in having kids, they never lost their hope in God. Now, that doesn't mean they didn't have their doubts, but their hope was in God. And maybe you can relate. Maybe for some of you, you've prayed hundreds or thousands of times for something, and now you've lost your hope. But a waiting season is never a wasted season. With Zechariah and Elizabeth, God didn't just give them a son, but he gave them a prophet who would pave the way for the Messiah. Now, the truth is that sometimes we don't get the answers that we're praying for or looking for. Sometimes we have to wait, or sometimes the answer is even no. But Scripture tells us that God's thoughts are higher than our thoughts, and his ways are higher than my ways. Scripture tells us that God is going to work everything together for the good of those who love him. It might not be the answer we're looking for, but God's going to work it for the good, because that is who he is. Remember that God's timing is perfect. God's will is perfect, and even when we lose hope about something that we desire, we need to remember that the most important hope is in Jesus. Enjoy your discussion today.